Manufactured houses are all over Florida. And I've actually looked at them and considered it for about 2 seconds. We'll get to my opinion as the video continues, but for a lot of people, it's all that they can afford in terms of buying, right? Even renting, right? Even renting, there are less to rent. But are they really a good idea specifically in Florida? Florida is one of the states that has a ton of them. There's also a lot in Texas, North Carolina. I mean, they're everywhere. But in these places with hurricanes, I don't know if that's a good idea. So we're going to get into this a little bit.
These times, the homes are what they can really afford.
When it comes to finding affordable housing, Florida is making headlines.
We just landed in second place for something that could change the way a lot of people live. So what is it? Gulf Coast News reporter Dave Elias is in North Fort Myers to show us.
Like the other homes we looked at were out of our league.
Lorena Kramer moved into a manufactured home a year ago. She says it's more affordable.
We paid $150 for our house, which is nothing.
Lake Arrowhead and other communities
nothing.
along US 41 in North Fort Myers.
Oh, North Fort Myers. Oh, Jesus.
You walk in, very, very well set up, very pretty.
And I find that our park is turning into younger people that are still working.
And it's not just retirees. Arlene Fenn says she sees many families buying manufactured homes.
These times, the homes are what they can really afford.
Obviously, it's affordability. I mean, people can move into a manufactured home around $150,000 versus $300,000 plus.
Realtor Karen Montgomery specializes in selling them.
I'm kind of become an expert on manufactured homes in the area.
So much so, she bought one in Lake Arrowhead.
These houses.
And okay, a lot of them, they look really nice, right? You go in, especially the newer ones. It looks like for what you're getting, you're like, wow, this is actually nice. This is fancy. But you start doing things like touching the walls, like just basic like that, and checking details. And that's where you're just like, okay. And I mean, I've owned an RV before, so it's fairly similar. And RVs are also kind of like, oh boy. I mean, and some of those RVs look incredible, but how they're made are just not, it's not this incredible quality. And especially when you're considering to live in it in a place that has hurricanes. Every single hurricane that comes through, all the disaster footage, check it. It's always manufactured houses because it looks the worst. It's like, it's the most shocking when you see it because the whole thing just gets torn apart because they're not made for it. It's not a cinder block house, right? And even those can get jacked in a hurricane, right?
These have been here 50 years plus, most of them.
In 2024.
Okay, she just said that most of them have been here 50 years plus. That is accurate. There are older manufactured houses, right? I know different areas, even where I live, where there are manufactured house communities, whether it's a community, a lot of those communities are 55 plus, but not all of them. And then there's also, which to me is more desirable, is manufactured neighborhoods, right? This is where you own the land. You're not paying lot rent. That lot rent, we'll get into that. That lot rent is a wreck. Forget all that. I mean, in my opinion, just don't. Look for an area that you own the land. It's going to be better because no one can raise your lot rent. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, why you would do that? Because these lot rents, no different than HOA fees and all that. It's literally the same. They just go up and go up and go up and go up. And before you know it, you're paying $1,400 a month in lot rent. You may as well just rent a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere that's not a manufactured house. So yes, there are old manufactured houses, but you're probably not going to be able to finance them. It's probably going to be a cash deal. And also insurance is probably not going to be a thing either. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, you know, if that's the risk you're willing to take and you want to live in that type of situation, but I considered it for 2 seconds and thank God I did not go with it, because once you get a real hurricane, then you're like, oh, yeah, thank God I didn't do that. Yeah, you know what? Thank God I didn't do that. Maybe it would have been okay this time, but oh gosh, they're the first ones. It's not even Cat 1 or 2 hurricane. It's tropical storm warning. Everybody that's in a manufactured house needs to evacuate. Period. Right? That's what they suggest. Right? Everybody that lives in a manufactured house, tropical storm, evacuate. I mean, I could stay here if I wanted to. I could stay here probably for a Cat 4. I probably could. I mean, it's been through one, but I probably could. I wouldn't want to. I would not suggest doing that. If you can leave, you should leave. But the house would probably be fine. You know, not saying there wouldn't be zero damage, but still, you know, like you'd have something to come home to. Manufactured house? Eeh.
Florida saw more than 7,400 new manufactured homes. Only Texas had more. North Carolina came in third.
Well, homes here on the Gulf Coast
Texas
are more
has tornadoes.
expensive
I mean,
than ever.
forget
but a new
it.
study shows that many Florida families are finding a new way. Manufactured housing. Those are homes that are built in a factory and then brought to an empty lot like this where they're set up. As you can see, they are growing fast and changing the way people live.
They have been through Charlie and many after that and many before that. And they're
Charlie
still
was
standing.
2004.
So what about safety? Well, she warns that older homes can be harder to insure than newer ones.
Yeah, and look
Once
at those
they're over
roofs even.
2006, you can get full replacement.
And a brand new manufactured home can cost as low as $85,000.
2006. I've seen manufactured houses that are from the 70s that are still up. I'm not saying they're in like great condition or any of that, but I've seen them in different areas, different neighborhoods or whatever. I mean, like I said, there's different areas and neighborhoods that have them here. You know, we love Crystal River up there, and there's all kinds of areas all up there. Homosassa, lots of manufactured houses. Now, those are areas where you own the land. That to me is a better. If I were to do it, that's what I would do. I would do that. But, you know, another part of this stigma is, you know, when you're going that route, also then who are your neighbors, right? This is all not to, it's what it is. It's just a valid question. It's a valid question. It's tough. It's tough. It's definitely a tough sell, and they don't hold their value. Right? They don't. A house that has land at least is going to hold more of its value than if you're just somewhere where there's a lot rent.
This empty lakefront lot selling for about $60,000.
Taxes are lower on the manufactured homes. You can't beat that for your retirement.
So whether it's a beachfront condo or a lakefront factory-built home, one thing is for sure, Florida families are finding new ways to keep the American dream alive. In Lake Arrowhead in North Fort Myers, Dave Elias, Gulf Coast News.
Yeah, I just see that they're not built well. They're just not built well. They're not solid. I mean, consider also that they're higher up. So there's any house, and there's also like super old, like wood built houses that are out here that aren't built on a foundation. They have a crawl space. And the first thing I think of, again, because you have to, is hurricanes. And I'm like, okay, one of the most destructive parts of a hurricane, right? You have two things basically, is right, wind and water. But think about the wind. You now have a crawl space that the wind can get through and lift up your house. Don't think it won't happen. Lift up your house, which will jack the whole thing up, if not take it, right? Depending on what the miles per hour is. It's just, oh God, that's just horrible. I mean, just thinking about that makes you think, you know what? Nope. I don't even know why I thought about it for 2 seconds. You think about it for 2 seconds because of the price, because of how much you're saving. But are you really saving in the long run, especially somewhere like this? You know, I think when I lived in the desert in California, they also have manufactured houses. And if I lived in the desert, if I lived in California in the desert, or I lived in Arizona in the desert, I would move into a manufactured house. I would, actually. There, I think that there's less of a risk, like a hazard, that kind of thing, than here. If you live in an area that gets hurricanes, it's the biggest shock to me that they have them all over. There's more here than I've seen anywhere else that I've ever lived. And it's like, but we get hurricanes and like, yeah, okay, it could survive, but like your odds aren't as good as than if you're in a concrete block house. It's just shocking to me.
Addressing affordability. Tonight, we're taking a look at manufactured home parks. For many, they are one of the last options for stable, lower cost living. But a new report accuses one of the nation's largest mobile home park owners of turning affordable communities into dangerous ones. News for Jack's consumer investigator Tiffany Salame spoke with local families living in homes they say are anything but affordable.
It's a sweeping problem across the state of Florida. So we asked you about it. A new public health report accuses one of the country's largest manufactured home park owners of neglecting Florida communities, creating unsafe and unsanitary conditions that are endangering residents' health. Homes of America owns more than 60 communities in Florida alone. But it's not just their properties where residents are facing steep rent hikes and neglect.
The floor's coming up, mold is terrible. My doctor's done told me to move. But on mine and his income is less than $2,000. With the both of us pulling together, we couldn't pull any more than that. So you're forced to live in this.
We're concealing this woman's identity because she fears her landlord may raise her rent prices even more for speaking out. She's renting a manufactured home in Jacksonville that she says is worse for wear.
I can't even begin to tell you what is wrong with this house. No overhang on this trailer. When it rains in the doors.
Again, I mean, I've owned an RV. It's not different. It literally, like, that could be the RV that I used to own. Totally could be. I owned an older RV, right, at the time. And I used it. This is when I lived in the desert. And I used it as an Airbnb in my backyard. It was great. It paid, you know. People came, they stayed in. It was great. And I got rid of it right before all those regulations started coming in. I was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. And I sold it. I sold it for the same price I bought it for. So that plus all the income we made from Airbnb. I mean, it was fun. It was a good experience. But, you know, just owning that and having to do different work on it because it was older. Not only the prep and getting it ready for Airbnb, but also like the different maintenance stuff that needed to happen because it was older and different things stopped working or needed fixes, whatever. It's like, these things aren't built like a regular house. These are tin cans with tiny pieces of wood, like not, you know, like we got like 2x4s and 2x6s and things like that. And for them, it's like way smaller, right? Smaller pieces of wood that rots way easier. Like if you get any water, forget it. And it's the same thing with these manufactured houses. If you get any water, which again, you're going to, it's gonna happen because they're not built. Well, think about new builds. I'm talking just regular new build construction houses out here. Those things aren't built well anymore. There's problems all over those things. How do you think RVs and manufactured houses are going to handle? It's going to be even worse because it's a lesser product than a concrete block house. It's a lesser construction quality. It's too risky, especially 150 is less than 300, but it's still a lot of money. If I lived in Arizona, I would live in one because you have less risks. You're not going to have the wind events like a hurricane. You don't get as much rain or water as you do down here, right? It rains here nearly every day, right? All the time, like specifically in rainy season, but even off rainy season, you just get rain. It's tropical climate. It's not a dry climate. So in a dry climate, I think I could swing living in a manufactured house, but out here, no, I think it's a really, really bad idea. Look at this. It's horrible.
Comes through the windows, mold was on the walls. You had to keep washing walls and bleach inside. We were supposed to pay $800. Every time I turn around, there's more than that.
Now, on top of the lot rent increases, you're hit with a lot of junk fees, it sounds like.
A junk fee is just the word you want to use because I don't understand. But it's not just me, honey. It's everybody in this neighborhood.
This was supposed to be an affordable place to live on her fixed income. But every month, she says it's becoming...
I mean, look at this, right? You're skirting. This is like cheap, flimsy aluminum. And it's basically what your whole house is made out of. And like just the composite wood that would make up either the siding or your interior. I mean, you touch it and it moves. You're not getting that in a real house, right? You're getting concrete block. You're getting stucco. You're getting hardy board siding. You're getting, right? Just different things like that. You're not getting flimsy aluminum tacked onto an 1/8-inch board, composite board, not even like the good plywood. It's like chipboard. It's insane. I've even seen out here big condo buildings, new build condo buildings going up, and it's plywood, and you're just like, and it's like chipboard. The first floor may be concrete block, but the upper floors are all like chipboard, and I'm like, how in the what? And they get finished, and it looks nice or whatever, but I know that it's chipboard. And I'm like, no, would never. Just shoddy work. It's not going to hold up.
More unaffordable.
Do you worry that you could be priced out of living here?
If they raised the rent, I would have to.
Tell me about how much you're paying for lot rent, and is that unaffordable for you?
$700+ I own my trailer. Yes, it is.
Other residents have similar complaints. Those who are paying lot rent, like Gerard, are paying almost as much as the tenants who are renting both the trailer and the land.
I don't think it should be near that high. The problems we're having out here are terrible. I find that a lot of money just to park a trailer. And you pay your own electric, your own water. There's no benefit of being here other than having your trailer parked.
There aren't many other rental options under $1,000 in Florida. Median rent for housing seekers was $1,555 in July of 2024, according to research from the University of Florida. And the state has only 26 affordable and available rental units for every 100 households with incomes that are below 30% of the area's median income. That leaves residents with lower incomes forced to live in hazardous conditions.
I have to do what I have to do to live.
We tried to reach the owner of the mobile home park where the residents you heard from in this story are living
with lower income.
Okay, I mean, even this, right? You see the seams, right? If I could see the seam like that, you don't think that it doesn't take but a pinhole for wire to get through. And then all that wood that's back there, that's, the aluminum is pinned to, is going to rot. It doesn't take that much. It doesn't take that long. Just bad. And then all of a sudden, when you touch the wall and it moves, your hand's going to go right through it because it's just going to break and fall apart within the wall. Really bad. If you're in Florida, don't buy a manufactured house. Just don't. You know what I think would be better than that? Buy an RV, drive in, and drive out. That way you can at least move it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's ideal. But at least you can move it when a hurricane's coming. Right? You know? So it's not just a loss. Yeah, I'm not saying it's ideal. It's totally not. It's totally not. I think it's a better deal if you must live in Florida. I think it's a better deal to move in, like live inland. I know that a lot of people think that's the middle of nowhere or not ideal, or you know, you're not near a beach or whatever. Or rent somewhere. I don't know. I just think it's really not a good idea to live in a manufactured house in Florida with all these hurricanes. And also look at this. Like, look at how close you are to your neighbor. That sucks. Like, that's crazy. And not like, I'm seeing 4 different houses right here. It's like, and again, these are not like thick walls. You're practically outside in your house. I mean, it's like an RV, right? It's like an RV. So tempting, but a tough sell.